Good morning, guys. Good morning. I'm getting live on Instagram now, so bear with me, Facebook. Good morning, guys. Good morning. I don't have my Facebook connected to my audio. So Facebook, you will have to hear me from my regular voice, my regular boring voice. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Facebook's telling me they're announcing that I'm live, so we're gonna bear with it here a minute. Instagram is telling me the same thing. So I will bear with it a second here. Good morning to everybody. I hope you guys are having a great day. I'll give it a second. I'll be right back actually. So I could put my little, actually I don't think I need to get up, hold on. Let me see if it works. We're gonna give it a minute while Facebook and Instagram makes an announcement that we're live. Okay. Okay. Good morning, guys. We're giving Facebook another minute here while it makes its announcement that I'm live. Didn't plan on going live today, but I got some things to share from my island people. This one is for you. So you guys get to see me in my natural face, my natural space. I didn't even have time to really get myself together this morning. Had so much going on, and the Lord was like, you need to get on here and tell these people what I told you already. So I have to share this with my island people. This one is going to be for Roatan. It's been a while since God has talked to me to really express something to my island people. And yeah, so I breathe heavy on this one. I think Facebook is, we'll go ahead and get started because I got tons to do still. People in and out the house, you guys know how it is when you move. You know, you got people over working on this, working on that. It's like nonstop. So I had some guys that just finished and some guys that are literally 2 hours out from coming. So I'm like, let me jump on here now that I got this little 2-hour window. And it'll kind of keep me limited to how much I speak and talk or whatever. But today is going to be for this one, like I said, was not something I planned. This vision I had was very direct, and I'm going to share it with you guys today. This is for my island people. And I'm trying to find the words to start this because I think in my other videos that I recently posted, I try to be very conservative with what I share on social media. I told you guys previously too, like I have private groups now and I feel really more comfortable sharing there because it's like, and it's not because of judgment, it's just that some things are a little bit heavier than others. And so you gotta watch what you say. You know what I mean? But this isn't like, I never want to make people scared because God doesn't work out of fear. The only thing we should fear in this life is God himself. because he said, you know, don't worry about the person that can just kill you, worry about the one that can kill you and kill your spirit. So that's who we are supposed to fear. We're not supposed to fear the things of this world. We're supposed to fear what God can do to us. And my fear is well placed, and I want you guys to also have your fear well placed. A lot of these things that I've been sharing is for you guys to understand, one, that it is the Lord that's speaking through me, and two, this is for us to be prepared as a nation, as a body of Christ. Like, God gives us heads up. He did that throughout the Bible. Throughout scriptures, you see God giving his people heads up. You know, his prophets, his disciples, they were never really caught off guard. And so what I've been sharing recently, like kind of throwing it back to let you guys know, like, I've already said I said this was coming and it's here. Is for you guys to be aware of that. Like, God is speaking to his people, and he's using other people to speak to people. Like, you know what I mean? And so what I'm going to share today isn't to scare my island people, it's to bring awareness to what's coming so that you can prepare. Because what good is you know, my gift if I can't help other people to do exactly that, to be prepared and to really know what's coming down the pipe or down the line. And when God first called me to step into this space, that was kind of like, and again, it's not like I can be like, look, God, this is a list of things you're going to do for me if you want me to work for you. That's not how this works, right? But I did bring it to him that what good is a gift if I can't help my own people? What good is a gift if I can't help my family first? If my son or my daughter or my husband is in need of healing and I can go out here and heal somebody else, what good is my gift if I can't heal my own family? Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like that. And so I had that conversation with God. And so when God speaks to me, there's always like, this is what is required for you, your life, your family first. And then it's like, okay, now this person, now this person, now these people, now this group of people. And so I'm always really excited when God reveals things for me for my own people, because it's like, okay, well, I can give them a heads up. And so that's what this will be about today. And I wanted to say when I woke up this morning that it was a dream, but it was so real. It was so, my kids like to call it lucid dreaming. And I don't like to tag it as that. I really don't, because I walk into these scenes and it's not like a lucid dream. And you know, lucid dream is like you realize you're not, like you realize you're dreaming. You're like, I'm in a dream. That's not how it works for me. Like, it works like I open a door and I walk through and I show up into this scene. And at no point did I ever was like, oh, I must be dreaming. No, I walk into the scene and it's like, I know this is coming. I know this is going to happen. You know, I do have lucid dreams too, where I walk into certain things and I'm like, oh, I know what, this is a dream. Let me pick out in this dream what is happening. Let me pick out in this dream what's important. I have those moments too. But what happened this morning wasn't that. What happened this morning was I walked into a scene and I knew this was coming. Just kind of like the video I posted last night about, I saw war coming to diversities in America. I saw that. That wasn't like, I had a dream that this, and this was going to happen. And, you know, there were some pieces missing. No, that was kind of like this morning too, where it's like I walked into a scene and I was hovering over the United States and there were different cities like having war happening in these cities. I got to be careful what I say on here. And it was strange because it was literally like diverse cities, like places you would never think. Like, how would we have a war in Miami? Why is there Russian ships off the coast of Miami? You know what I mean? Just things, even in that vision, was like, what? I was like shocked. And so this morning, it was like that again. And today was about my island. It was about back home. And I'm going to start to share what I saw. So I kind of gave you guys that backstory so you kind of understand like the difference between a lucid dream and what happens to me with these type of visions. This is like this morning. First of all, God wakes me up at different times of the night, 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, and it's like, hey, pay attention. And so what woke me up this morning at like 4 in the morning was this ringing in my ear, and I already kind of knew something was about to happen. And so it was this ringing in my right ear, which I used to think was tinnitus, and yeah, we'll talk about that a different day. But anyway, so I was kind of already in a wake state. And then my spirit is taken, like I said, and I'm walking through a door. I come through the door and I'm back home. And I'm standing on Mr. Larry. Anybody from Roatan know Christy them? This is the area. I grew up in Constellation Bight. And so these are like my people. You know, I meet a lot of people back home that I grew up with, and I don't remember them, not in a bad way, but like we have grown up and we changed so much in our features, in our body, that it's like remind me of who we are, like who we were growing up. But then there are some people that there's no reminding needed because these were my crew. I grew up with these, you know what I mean? And so a lot of times when I dream or I get these visions of back home, it's always with my crew. It's always with my people. And it's like, God does that for me so that I know the difference. When in the beginning of the year, when I talked about the fires on the island, I knew it wasn't my crew because the people that came to me in that dream weren't my crew, right? And so like this morning when I walked into the vision, this was a warning for my people. Like this is going to happen and it's going to affect my people. And so this is the difference. This is why God was like, you need to go on here and warn you and give a heads up. But anyways, so in the vision, I walked through this door and now I'm back home, and it's like maybe 2 or 3 in the morning. It's early in the morning. And I walk up the stairs to Mr. Larry's house, and I'm standing on Mr. Larry's porch. And there is a little boy in the background crying. It's a baby. And I go to get him. And when I pick him up, I realize this is Christy's son. Why am I holding her son? But anyways, I pick him up. As soon as I pick him up and I turn around, I see the sea rising and coming to me. And instantly I said, hey, you got to take your baby. Because Christy came out and she was like, hand him to me. And I hand him to her. When I went to hand him to her, I realized that I was surrounded in like the sea had rose up to my knee now. And so I was like, hey, you guys need to get to higher ground. And she's like, yeah, pass him to me, girl. Let me go. And I was like, okay. So then I know now this is a message from God, and I'm standing there and I'm waiting because when it's a direct message from God, an angel always shows up in these visions. Somebody actually shows up to start to tell me what this means, what's going on, and why this is happening. And so I'm standing on the porch now by myself, and the seawater had risen all the way up to the porch, to their, you know, if you've been to Christina's house back in the day, I don't know how it is now, I haven't been. But back in the day when I was growing up, they had a 2nd-story house, and upstairs, the stairs were on the side of the house, and you walk up, and that's how you got into their house. And so I was standing at the entrance to their house, and the water was literally up to that level. And I stood there and I waited because again, I know an angel was coming, and he did. And I said to him, what does this mean? I said, is this judgment for the island? Right? And I said, you know, island people, the first thing they're going to say is scriptures. And God said he would never judge with waters again. He wouldn't flood nowhere with waters again. And the Lord said, this isn't my judgment to Roatan. And I said, okay, what does this mean? And he started to show me. He said that When island people needed to unite to fight for the reef, they didn't. A few people stood up, but not enough did to stop what these people did to Constellation Bight, to that side of the island. And he said, what island people don't know is that it wasn't even just about the reef. It was about bringing the deep ocean closer to shore. So he said this rain season, when it comes, the sea will rise because we brought the ocean too close to shore. Oh, I cried. I said, Lord, have mercy. These are my people. And I'm going to try not to get emotional. And he said, this is not my doing. This is island people ignorance, not standing up for what is right on that island. He said that the waters will rise, and because of his mercy, it will stop at their doors. He said, but the island will flood, and there will be damage. I saw this, and it's coming. I know it is. This wasn't a dream. This wasn't So island people, have a plan. Have a plan to get to higher ground. I remember when we had Mitch hit, we all ran to the Mission Hill. Get a plan together, because we brought the sea too close to shore. That's what the Lord told me. The sea is too close to shore. He said the reef would have been able to protect some, but the sea is too close. The deep sea is too close. That's what I saw. I literally was taken out to the sea, in the water of the depths of the sea, for me to see how close to shore it was. And it scared me. I mean, it shook me. Because sometimes we do things and we don't think about the future events or the consequences down the road of what can come. And some people do, and some people rose up to fight. But the rest of our islanders just kind of like, God showed me that like a lot of island people just kind of like laid back and waited for somebody else to do the job. And we didn't stand up like we should have. And we didn't unite in the way that we really needed to. And the ones that were trying to be the voice for the island, it wasn't loud enough because it wasn't enough in numbers. He said that back in the day, he showed me a timeline. Because here's the thing, what's funny is that God showed me that back in the day, people came to do the same thing to the island. And our ancestors, our parents' parents stood up and fought. And that's why it didn't happen then. But God showed me that cruise ship coming to the island, they've been trying to do that. Been trying to do it. And it was the island people that said no. Previous generations, not this one, because they were close, they were connected to God and they knew what would come. So they protected our resources. But today's generation, they don't care. They want to be Americanized. God showed me this. God showed me, and it hurt my heart to see that my generation that's standing up is echoing, but it's not loud enough for the generation coming behind. The generation coming behind mine, that's Roatan, it is, I can count them on one hand how many people are really fighting to keep the island. And that they're losing. It's not enough people. And we're going to see the consequences to our decisions. And that's what's coming. And when it comes, the reason God wants me to say everything I've already just said is because he said, island people like to say God's judgment. He wants you to know this isn't God's judgment. This is poor decision making of our own people. This is not going to be God's punishment to the island. God never wanted this for us. But when the rains come, the sea will rise. The flood, the water, I saw the sea coming into the shore. I didn't see, when it's a flood of like rain flood, when I see rain floods coming, it's usually from the inside of the land into the waters, and then I know that that's flood rising. This wasn't that. This sea was meeting me on land, which means that the next storm that's coming, this hurricane season, I just did a video about it. It'll be one to remember, and the island will be impacted. This is where the water will rise from. So prepare. This is for you guys to prepare. This is heavy stuff. I know. It's not to scare you guys. It's for you guys to prepare. The damage is done, and you can't undo it. But island people need to get to higher ground. Like, you guys need to have a plan to be on higher ground. I'm not kidding you. Just have a plan in order. And when you guys see the rain start and this hurricane season come and you hear storms come in, just have a plan. Say, hey friend, hey hey this one, hey that one. This season come in for the rain, for whatever. You mind if I come and, just crash with you for the week or the weekend? Also, those that live on the hills and the higher ground on the island, open your doors. We say we're for the people and we're generous and all these things. God showed me that that's a lie. And it broke me. You see, when you live in America and you go home, people love on you, and so it feels like it used to be, right? It feels like home. It feels like, man, my people look out for each other. God said that's a lie. Everybody's out for everybody on the island now. The ones that are looking out for each other is few and far in between. And people are like, God showed me, there's cliques, there's like, if you're in a part of this little group, I can't trust you, so I don't know, no. And that comes from the fact that the violence on the island, so many people turning against each other, you don't know who's who anymore. It's sad. But if you live on higher ground, you need to be literally willing to open your doors to anybody that comes. You need to be helpful and be the, God-loving people that we are. We have to change. Roatan has to change. We have to. We are more caught up. God showed me. It's scandalous. It broke my heart. And then don't get me wrong, it's not everybody, but it's a majority. I thought it was a small problem. It's not a small problem. It's a huge problem on the island. God showed that to me. It's a huge problem on the island. People are more inclined to the American ways. They're more inclined about gossip and who hurt who and why they did it. They're not concerned with each other anymore. Literally. Growing up home, it didn't matter where I went. And a lot of you guys know my upbringing home, because you know why, what happened to us and know most of our business is because everybody was involved. There wasn't a place that I went as a kid that my mom didn't know where I was. And even if she didn't, somebody looked after me. Literally, somebody looked after me. Somebody took care of me, no matter where I went on that island. And it is because somebody did that we were safe. But it's not like that no more. Nobody's looking after each other's kids. we hear something happen down there and it's like, oh, that sucks. Did you hear what happened to so-and-so's child? Instead of like protecting, or you know what I mean? Like, it's, God showed me this morning and my heart broke. And then you have the parents. Me as a grown woman, there is things I would never say to people in my mom's generation or my mom's age group. In fact, I have respect even for people in my sister's age group, right? There is a reverence there because these people helped raise me. And parents these days on the island want to literally talk in a way to older people that's like, who raised you? These are the people that watched after you growing up. How dare you allow your child to speak to them that way? The things I saw this morning, Roatan, it broke me. And it is because of those things that island people will say, this is God's judgment. God told me this morning, he said, just like this, water is preserved for cleansing and fire for purifying. He said the earth doesn't need to be cleansed. The people need to be purified. That's why I'm coming with fire. He said every time there's a flood, people say, my judgment. I'm not coming to cleanse. I'm coming to purify. This is what the Lord told me this morning. He says, so when these waters rise on that island, let them know that it is not my judgment. When I get a hold of Roatan and everywhere else in this world, I'm coming to purify, not cleanse. It's with fire. And so know that it's not God's judgment. But he showed me why island people will say it's his judgment pouring out on the island. It's not. Anyways, prepare, Roatan. Seriously, the waters are gonna rise, and it will be on that side of the island. You see, and he showed me all the places they dug. And I sat there and I said, why would anybody you are on an island? We allowed these people to bring the sea to our shores. Why would we ever do that? It blew my mind as I saw how close to the shore they dig. There will be nothing to stop the sea from coming to the shore now, because we literally brought the sea to the shore. It makes no sense. We're gonna see the consequences of our decisions. His people will be preserved, because guess what God showed me? There's a prophet on Roatan. There's a couple of them actually. But there's this one woman and she's a prophet. She already knows these things. She's already seen these things. God's people are being warned on the island. But the thing is that God showed me is that prophets, apostles, and the true teaching of God is no longer welcome on the island. Itching ears are itching. An island, people don't want to hear the word of God in the way they need to hear it. And it blew my mind. We have become Americanized on this island. We're not Americans. We're not. And don't get me wrong, there are benefits to the resources that America provides to the island. There's convenience, there's nice things. When I go home, it's the same for me. Like, I like my bar soap that I use. I like my almond milk. And I love those opportunities that have been brought to the island. It's almost like it extends the border, right? And those things are nice, but it's not our identity, and we've lost that on the island. We're not Americans. We were supposed to preserve what was true to us, and we didn't. And the few people, God showed me the few people that tried to fight, they were mocked. Like, you can't see this is for good. You can't see the money that this is bringing in to help it. Blinded by greed and money. And then you know what God showed me? There is no accountability on that island. There is nobody that says, you know what? I could have done more if I had gathered my community. Lord Jesus, have mercy, Lord. There is no accountability. We blame mainlanders. We blame the Spaniards that have infiltrated our borders. We blame them for everything as we slowly allow them to kill us out. We slowly allow them to close in our own borders on our own people, and we blame them like we didn't have a say, like we didn't have a fight in this, like we couldn't stand up with the people that were our voices. We blame them. God showed that to me today. Island people blame them. And it's always these people. No, it's you guys. It's everybody. It's us. It's all of us. It's the ones that left and didn't go back too. It's me. It's not just you guys. It's all of us. We had a responsibility to that island, and we were supposed to protect it for the generations ahead of us. We've not done that. We've allowed things into our borders that God never intended to be there. We used to be God-fearing people, and we used to stick together. I remember a time on that island that a Spaniard couldn't pass the big bridge without everybody knowing that there was a new Spanish person in town. And everybody knew why they were there. And everybody knew them to the extent that they needed to be known. Nobody could come down to Consolation Bight and everybody not know who you were. And God showed me now that there are people and places that the island people don't even know. They pop up and they're shocked, like, how did they get here? We've allowed our own borders to close in on us and our children, and we're making it impossible for them to fight. The culture that we have left, the people that are standing up, stand with them, fight with them, unite with them. Literally. Or everything we know that was precious to island people will be gone. God showed that to me. So when these sea waters come into your doorstep, don't blame God, because it's not him. We allowed these people to dig this. It broke me. So get a plan together, because the waters that are coming is nothing like you've seen before. There's nothing left to protect that island. And what's funny, what was even funnier, is that the part of the island that will be protected, it's not fair. It's not fair that we protect tourists and foreigners. It's not fair. Because there was a time it didn't matter who had money, Roatan. We were all humans and we were all protected. It's not like that no more. And it's our own doing. We won't have nobody to blame but us. Seriously. So, I know this is a lot to hear. I know it's a lot to hear. It was a lot for me to see. It was a lot for me to comprehend and a lot for me to process this morning. I've been praying from the time I came out of that vision for mercy. So if you live Roatan, if you are from Roatan, I don't care where you are in the world, pray for our island. Pray that God will keep the waters at our doors. Pray that God will keep the waters at the shore. That when the storms come, that the waters won't rise. And that our people will be protected. Because the few that's on the island that are doing the right thing, they matter. And I said that to the Lord this morning. I said, God, you and Abraham had a conversation. And if it was not for 5, Lord, would you not? If it was not for 10, Lord, would you not? And you saved Lot. So you have to save my people. So prepare and pray. And I believe in my heart that God will have mercy. And He will show grace for the 5, for the 10, for those that are still there, that are doing the right thing for our island. So just pray. Stay in prayer with me, please. And prepare. Get a plan together to go to higher ground if you need to go to higher ground. I'm going to get off now. God bless you guys, and unite with me in prayer, please. This thing is serious. God bless you guys, and you guys have a good day.